Let's talk about the SAT. So I was tutoring a student the other day and he got a question wrong about the status quo. That was what the question was referring to. And it was one of those questions that said in line 86, what does the term status quo refer to? Or what does it best represent or mean or things like that? Those types of questions you will definitely see on ACTs and SATs, okay, and any other standardized exam. So let's go ahead and talk about this phrase status quo within the context of a test. First, as we talked about in yesterday's video with vocabulary, you want to know the meaning of words, the basic modern day definition. And the modern day definition of status quo, it comes from Latin, first of all, that's important to know. But status quo refers to the existing state of something, the current condition of something. So to give it a little bit more context so that the word comes alive a little bit more, status quo can have a positive or a negative connotation, which I'm sure you've heard phrases like that before. And based on the reading that you are doing on the SAT, you need to understand the nuances of how the author feels and why they chose that particular phrase to refer to what the topic of the reading is. So let me give you an example. A positive connotation of the word status quo might refer to the established order of things. And the author may be trying to emphasize the need to maintain the status quo for stability, for continuity, so that society continues to function. And they may be using status quo as the opposite of anarchy and chaos. So in that context, status quo can have very positive undertones. However, status quo can also have negative undertones. For example, you may have a situation in a reading where the author is advocating for public dissent or demands for reforms and reformation and things like that, because the status quo is no longer serving the highest purpose of the people, for example. And it could signify the unwanted persistence of an old authoritarian practice that people so often want to change. So in one case, status quo could refer to stability, continuity, persistence, tradition, all things of which have more positive than negative undertones. However, status quo can also be, sorry for the beeping, I just got a notification, but the word status quo can also have negative undertones and it can turn into a negative concept, and it could represent an obstacle to reform or needed change or engagement within a society. So I just wanted to give you that insight for SATs and ACTs and things like that for words and questions like that. So never just rely on the definition of the word. Always go back and refer back to the text to see what the tones, the underlying meaning of the phrase is. So that way, when you look at the question, you can have a bit more clarity. Hope this helps. And if you want more tutoring and you want like one-on-one tutoring, please visit www.turningthetidetutoring.com. And I look forward to working with you.